Hi, the medicine wheel. What season of life are you in? Thank you for joining me. My name's Stephen Bones and I practice spirituality through shamanism. And you really help my channel if you subscribe and hit the bell, and I want to thank you in advance for doing that. But back to the subject of the medicine wheel and what season of life are you in? Well, let me just go through what this is about. In the shamanic practices, we often speak about the medicine wheel, and many of you may also recognize it as the circle of life. But the medicine wheel originates, as far as I know, from the traditions of Native American peoples, and each nation has its own teachings and its own way of understanding the wheel and how it works. But my own teaching is that here in the West we can respectfully create a medicine wheel that reflects our own landscape and our culture and our personal relationship with spirit. Rather than following a fixed tradition, we can actually allow ourselves to be guided by spirit, or if you prefer, your own intuition. And where the medicine wheel starts for me is in the east, and that colour is yellow. And this is where the journey begins. This is where the sun rises and a new day is born. And it represents birth, fresh beginnings, and the energy of spring. Because nature awakens, trees begin to bud, flowers emerge, birds build their nests, and life sort of bursts into action. Many gardeners, and I'm one of them, eagerly return to the gardens as the warmth of spring arrives. I love it. The East reminds me that every day offers a new beginning and every ending holds the promise of another sunrise, which is quite interesting. But then we move through to the south, and as we journey to the south, we enter into the summer. And this is the time of our youth, growth, adolescence, and discovery. We experience innocence and trust and joy and playfulness as we continue on this journey. And we also begin to develop emotional relationships. Think of teenagers. Building relationships with other people and also animals, plants and the natural world. And we deepen our connection to spirit that flows through all living things. And then that we move to west, the autumn, where the sun begins to set, and it's a season of completion and harvest and preparation. And we harvest and then we prepare for the new beginnings in the east. That's why it's opposite the east. This is the stage of adulthood where life invites us to turn inwards, and we can reflect on our experiences that we've come to so far, face our own challenges, and actually discover the wisdom that's deeper in us of our true spiritual nature, I suppose. And it's often through life's greatest lessons, even the ones that are very adverse and unpleasant, that we become to know who we really are. We know ourselves. And then we move through to the north, and the colour's white, and north is winter. And interestingly enough, this is a season of stillness, peace, and quiet reflection. And nature rests, gathering strength for the next cycle ahead, for the east again, for the new beginnings. And the north represents the elder, whose wisdom has been earned through experience. And I can attest to that as I've got older. My wisdom and understanding and curiosities has got deeper. And I've certainly learned that stillness can actually reveal more constant activity. More can reveal more than constant activity. And true understanding will often come in silence, and that's what I've learned. And as the wheel completes its circle, we then stand ready for the east once more, renewed, wiser, and carrying the lessons of each lesson where we began in the east. And the medicine wheel reminds us that life is never a straight line. We're always moving through cycles. Everything is cyclical, of birth, growth, transformation, wisdom. Female is cyclical. The earth is cyclical. Everything has got a cycle to it. So I want to leave you with this question. Which direction are you walking in at this moment in your life? Because this is a metaphor. The medicine wheel is a metaphor for where we are in life. We can be in the summer, in the physical, but in ourselves, we're in the winter, we're in quiet reflection. It doesn't mean to say we have to wait for winter to be in quiet reflection, because everything's a balance in life. So I want to thank you for listening to me. And I hope that was a bit of it. This is my basic understanding of a medicine wheel. It does go a lot deeper, but what I'm trying to do is get you to understand and begin to reflect on what season of life you're in. So thanks for listening, and I will see you next time.